So, you want to know how to use the awesome online tool BookBolt in order to expand your Amazon KDP business and make more sales? Well, then you've come to the right place. For those who do not know, BookBolt.io is a super great online tool that you can use whether you are just getting started with your own Amazon KDP business, or even if you are a KDP business veteran and are looking to scale your business and make even more sales every single day. Basically, BookBolt has a ton of unique interiors that you can use for the insides of your books. They also have a great cover creator and a recently redesigned BookBolt Studio to help with the creation process for all of that. And honestly, one of the parts that I think is absolutely the most crucial for any Amazon KDP business is the research that you do into a specific niche or type of book before you even begin the creation process. So that is what we are going to talk about today. Real quick, just before we dive into the tutorial section, I wanted to let you know that BookBolt is currently running a special holiday promo for Black Friday, where basically instead of paying a tidy sum of $119.94 for a 6-month subscription to BookBolt Pro, you can get those same 6 months for only $49.99. But it gets better, because if you use my coupon code, which is in the description below, then you get an additional 20% off of that. So instead of paying basically $120 for a 6-month subscription, you can get that subscription for about $40 for 6 months. And just to be 100% transparent, the link that is in my description is in fact an affiliate link, so if you do choose to buy a subscription, I will receive a small kickback from that. And that just helps me put out more content for you guys and more tutorials. Alright, so let's dive on in to this tutorial. Once you have logged into BookBolt, it will bring you to this dashboard that looks like this. And under this lovely research tab, they have a ton of super helpful things. The first tab available is a tutorial page, so you can watch a ton of YouTube videos that is actually from BookBolt itself on exactly how to use their services. So definitely feel free to check those out too if you have any questions or just want a nice general overview. But the part that we're really interested today is past the tutorials, of course. Now, there are definitely a few different ways that you can go about researching on BookBolt. One of them is this products search. You can type in a keyword, select which category, hit search. So if we do a quick example, let's say we were looking for a Christmas Sudoku book. We could either leave it in general, or we could look at all of these. I'm going to go ahead and select puzzle book. We hit search. And after a few seconds, it gives us these results. It will bring up at the top a box on the keyword that you searched, the number of results that it found, the average BSR, lowest and highest price, and the average of those two, plus the category. So what is really helpful that I like about this is that it will bring up some of the used keywords on this right hand side to give you an idea of what keywords you should be using if this is the kind of book that you are going to be creating and uploading to Amazon. And then it will also give you all the pertinent information that you really want. So you get the title, you get a picture of the cover, the author, the price, if it has reviews or not. And then what's super helpful is it will give you the BSR or bestsellers rank off of Amazon, and it will even calculate the general number of estimated sales that this particular book is making. So as we can see for this first example, this top book is making roughly 160 sales per month, which is pretty good. Of course, that is going to be seasonal, so that will go up and down a lot. And you want the BSR to be as low as possible. The lower it is, the better that book is selling. So a BSR of 220,000 is pretty good. If we scroll down, we can see that even with a 400,000 BSR, you're getting roughly 60 estimated sales per month. And a lot of these, look, they're really recently published. The first two were in 2021, and this third one right here is from 2022, although it does only have a couple of sales so far. This can definitely help give you an idea of top sellers, their price range, how many sales they're making, things like that. Super duper helpful. The tab right below that is where you can look up a particular seller. So for an example, I'm going to look up Jade Summer because that is the pen name of a super popular and relatively well-known brand of coloring books. So it will give us the same box here at the top as we got from the products search section. And here we go, we have the keyword count, no surprise there, coloring book, adult, relaxing, stuff like that. And what's pretty handy too is that this little heart on the right side, you can touch that and then that book will be added to your favorites tab, which is, you can see a little bit lower on the left there, so that you can quickly go back and see like how these books are doing whenever you're searching. And as you can clearly see from just the first couple of book listings that we've got here, Jade Summer is seriously making bank just on one alone. But then you scroll down and look at that, 500 estimated sales, 540 estimated sales, and this is per month, of course. It seems like most of her books are making 300 to 500 sales per month. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty consistent. And you just have to do the math for each book. Just subtract the printing costs, Amazon's cut, and even with just a royalty of a few bucks, you just multiply that by a few hundred and bam, you have a really nice source of passive income there. Continuing on to the next tab, we have a slightly more advanced search capability with this one. You can search the best sellers. They have top 100 to top 500 and different categories that you can do as well. So let's say, for example, we were looking for a sketchbook. You can also select the BSR range. Of course, you'd want it to be pretty small because you want to look up books that will get you sales that lots of people are searching for, that are consistently selling. And then you can set your price range too. 0 to 100 is a bit excessive though. We'd probably want it to be closer to this range. And it's actually optional to put in keywords. If I just hit search right now, it would return sketchbooks with the parameters selected here. So when I hit search without adding in any keywords, we get basically the top selling sketchbooks at this moment. And this also has a nice breakdown of the data for us. And we have the all-important estimated monthly sales and average BSR for the last 30 days. So if we just go ahead and keep scrolling, we can get an idea of a bunch of different niches that we could potentially use for our own sketchbooks. And there's, a pretty wide variety, so there's a lot to choose from. And in order to make what you are creating even more unique, then you might consider cross-niching a couple of these two, combining two different subjects that you're seeing on this list that are selling well into one sketchbook in order to capture market for both of those two subjects. And a lot of these are honestly super simple, like this one to the right here. It's just a really cool colorful background with the words sketchbook, the title on there. It's just 100 or so blank pages, 8.5 by 11, pretty standard. And this one has a really low BSR at 32,000, estimated monthly sales at 300. That is pretty good for a blank book that someone probably just put together in a very short period of time. Now you'd still have to be careful not to infringe on copyright. So for example, this one with Stitch on the front cover, you would definitely not want to do that because it's really just not worth the risk. But I definitely enjoy just searching through these results to see what people are looking for and what is selling well. And then under the Book Scout tab, you can specifically look up books that have been published on KDP. So before you enter, you would want to make sure that the book is either listed as independently published or CreateSpace independent publishing platform. And you get 25 of these searches, and it will tell you at the top, of course. So this is also another way to look up specific books to see how they are doing. And of course, it will not work for books that are not published through KDP, which makes perfect sense, because that is exactly who our competitors are. And I personally enjoy using the Cloud tab to look up season-specific books as well. And you never know, sometimes you come across great ideas that just perhaps hadn't occurred to you before. And this would actually be really helpful for keeping track of Christmas cards that you've sent and or received, and the addresses that you need to send those Christmas cards. And it's probably not something a ton of people would necessarily think of, but that could be really useful and a good seller around Christmas time. And if the BSR on these two is any indication, there are people, looking up, buying and using these. And here's another great idea, a gift tracker, so that you can keep track of gifts that you've either received or given, and that way you can write thank you cards for those gifts without accidentally leaving someone out and then having potential relationship issues because of that. So things like that, it's really fun to see, and some of these are super simple, like these password keeper books, and it's really fun to just take a look at all of these. And what's pretty handy about this one is that you can put a dash in front of words you want excluded in case one of a particular kind of book keeps coming up that you're not interested in. That way you can really narrow down those search results and make everything a lot cleaner and easier to go through. Using BookBolt in general is just really helpful in cutting down the amount of time and headache you have to go through, especially when researching niches and book ideas for your Amazon KDP business. Once you do select a particular niche that you want to create, then you can just switch from the Research to Create tab on the left hand here. And then you can either go to the BookBolt Studio, which is recently redesigned and even more helpful than before. Alright, if you made it to this point in the tutorial, you get a gold star. Comment a star emoji in the comments if you have in fact made it all the way through this tutorial. Gold star for you. And if BookBolt is something you think would be very helpful for your own Amazon KDP business, then please feel free to use the link in my description and my special code, and you can try out BookBolt for 6 months for essentially $40. But honestly, it'll probably pay for itself pretty quickly. On that note, I hope everyone has a lovely Thanksgiving and a hopefully not too hectic Black Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.